Hi, I'm Karen.
And I'm Leah.
And welcome to Halton Farms Chewing the Cud. Today, let's talk about the question we get asked so often. How do we get up at 4 a.m?
Tales from our happy herd and secrets behind an award-winning farm.
I try not to think about it too much, and I don't really think about it that much. It's just what time we get up to start work at 4:30. So for me, I'll tell you how I do it, and then Leah, you tell me what you think. But for me, it's all about the animals. So when I get up, it starts with, as soon as our alarm goes off, Bert, my Springer Spaniel, knows the alarm's gone off. So he starts banging the door that goes through to the house, because they're like kept in the kitchen and back hall bit in the conservatory. And he bangs that door so much so that sometimes he opens it and like 8 dogs flood upstairs. So Tom's had to put a lock on the inside to stop Bert opening the door. And also Tom's dead jealous, because if Bert opens the door, he gets on the bed with me and then Tom's got no chance. So he gets really jealous. So he's locked Bert out now. So they greet me at the door, and I've got to say, that is one of the most vibrant, manic welcomes you could ever get. So 8 dogs, so pleased to see you. And it's all so unconditional that you can't help but love it. And that really kind of wakes you up. And it's, I suppose, opening the door for that first time. It doesn't matter what state the kitchen's in or what's going on. That bit is all so jolly and happy that it just wipes everything out. Then I think for me, the next stage is getting to the calf pens. So turning the lights on. And I must say, I did a little video. So we'll see if there's some way. We'll put them on social media on all our platforms. But I think, if we can run it alongside this as well somehow, when you go on to the platforms to listen to the podcast, I did a little video of when I open the door, and then also when I get to the calf pens and I go in, and it's just so nice because the calves are so pleased to see you, and they get up and they skip around. Or the day I did the video, it was actually, I think it was -2 in the morning. So it was like 4:30 in the morning, -2. So a few of them did get up, but most of them stayed snuggly. They're kind of like, my feeling is as well, they're getting up to wait for the breakfast. Animals love routine. So especially cows and calves, they just really have to have routine. And for me, I just think it's a duty of care. So we've chose to have these animals. So whether you choose to farm with animals or you choose to have 8 dogs, which is a bit mental. But anyway, we've got the room. That's my excuse. And a lot of them are rescues. So that's my reasoning. But we need to treat them and do the best we can and do our best for them. So I always think, whether it's a gerbil, a dog, a calf, a cow, a horse, or if you're lucky enough to own a camel, you've got to put them first, and you've got to understand what makes them tick and what makes them happy, because they can't verbally tell us. So, routine, I think, is one of the keys to that. So that's how I leave the house, or actually leave the bathroom, really, because I've got a heated floor and it's amazing. So much so, all the heating was off the other day in the house because we get to minus something, and Farmer Tom always runs out of heating oil. So we never run out when we're at 7 or 8 degrees. He always waits till the coldest day of the year and we run out of heating oil. So I actually ate my lunch in the bathroom last week because it's the only warm place in the house. So I sat on the loo and ate my lunch. What about you, Leah?
I love that as well, because you've run out of heating oil, and I got told off when I ran out of heating oil, and now Tom's run out of heating oil.
Yeah,
so
I mean, that's because you ran out and we had to bleed it all.
Yeah,
we don't have to bleed ours yet. He doesn't know till it gets refilled. But hasten to add, it should have come yesterday, Friday. We're now on Saturday, and the wagons broke down, so they didn't deliver it. So luckily, though, this weekend I think it's getting a bit warmer, so it's not too bad.
Not too bad. Yeah, I completely agree about waking up and doing it for the animals. That is why we do it. And also, I think we're all similar in that we don't mind early mornings. I think you do have to be a morning person. there are people out there that are night owls, or what's the other one? Early birds.
Early birds. Up with the lark.
Yeah, that's it. But honestly, the quietness and the calmness of when you go out that early in the morning, I would urge people to actually try and get up at that time and go outside. And the sound you hear at that time, some people say it's the middle of the night. I have had that's the middle of the night. I'm like, well, it's not. It's just a time when people aren't generally up.
Yeah.
But that's not to say you shouldn't get up at that time. I don't know. I
think it is the best time of the day in winter and summer.
Yeah.
So it probably might be a little bit harder in winter because you're in bed and you can hear the rain outside or it's freezing cold, like it is freezing. One thing we don't have to do, I suppose, or I don't, is defrost the car. So that helps. I've only got to get from here to the house to the calf pens, I suppose. But it can be a bit tricky getting down the road because they don't grit. And I walk down the grass verge bit round to the other yard. So that can be a bit tricky when it's slippy. But I think it is, like you say, it's a different kind of sound. And there isn't lots of sound, really. No. What you hear is more of nature.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you hear of what it's like in the middle of the night.
It's quite therapeutic.
I think it's very therapeutic, and there's not many people around. So the cars haven't started on the road yet, have they? And that sort of, we're on a little bit of a rat run, I suppose, on the lane. So all that's not started up. I think there's one car when I start to wake up at about 3:30. I'm always awake before the alarm. And as I start to stir, there is one car that goes past about 20 to 4. And it goes past every morning about the same time. So that's clearly somebody else that has to be at work early. And then that's probably the only car I ever hear until everybody starts turning up for work, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if nobody really does it often, do it. I urge you to do it. Get a coffee or a cup of tea or a fruit tea, whatever you drink in the morning, and just go and open the back door and just listen or sit and just have a bit of time to just think.
A few of us agree as well. Like to start your day, it makes you more alert. I don't know what it is. You'd think you'd be really tired, but obviously we're used to doing it now. But a lot of us either start at 4:30 or at 7. And a few of us have said, when you start at 7, you've almost got this like you're a bit sluggish almost. Yeah. Whereas if you get up earlier, I don't know what it is. Obviously you're tired when you go to bed, but if you go to bed early, all right.
But don't you think you sleep better?
Yeah.
I think I sleep better.
It's the fresh air as well, I think, makes you sleep better. Being outside makes you...
And I also think as well, because I've worked in a different industry where I would have been more mentally tired. Yeah. And I think, and I have to do a lot more sort of office work as well in this as well. I don't do as much physical as I used to do in this business. But when I do more physical, I sleep better. So I always say physical tired is a much nicer tired, mental tired. I don't like mental tired. You never just quite relax and sleep properly. It's horrible. So I suppose people that get the mental tired thing and the stress job, I suppose that's why a lot of people get up and go out for a run.
Yeah.
In the morning. And now we're talking about it. I used to think they were all lunatics, but now we're talking about it. I kind of get that.
Why?
We get our exercise early in the morning by doing our physical job.
Yeah. And I think once you get into it, sometimes as well in the summer, the sun can be starting to like come up a little bit, can't it?
And that is really nice to see.
Really nice. And it doesn't, if you don't look at the clock, you don't always really know what the time is. I think if you think about it too much, you would think, God, it is early. But if you don't look at the clock, just get on with it.
It's 7 o'clock. Yeah. And that's sort of a lot of people's normal time for getting up.
Yeah. And also if you think you've had 5 hours till 9 o'clock, and people that do 9 to 5, you've done 5 hours of work.
I know, that's like the biggest part of their day.
Yeah. And you can get so much done in that time of the day.
Yeah.
Roads are clear if you needed to go on, you can get loads done. It's a very productive time of day, I think.
Going back to what you say about getting up, and it's actually easier if you do get up at the same time every day, rather than sometimes we get up at 4, don't we? And then sometimes Graham is a perfect example.
Yeah.
So Graham, bless him, he comes to work. God, he's worked for us for years, Graham, and he drives from Macclesfield, but But you can guarantee if Graham has a later start, he's always late.
Yeah, it's weird.
So if he's on at 4:30 or 5, he's always on time. Sometimes he's even early. You know, he'll be here at blooming 4 sometimes. But you put him on a 7 o'clock start. Oh my Lord, he cannot get here on time.
Sorry, Graham.
Yeah, sorry, Graham. I'm totally out on you. But it's a common theme in our business. We all know about it and he openly talks about it. Yeah. But he will say, if he prefers to do an early start every day, because it's you must get into a routine. And when the alarm goes off, you don't snooze it because you know you've got to be there. Yeah. Whereas at 7 o'clock, you're like, oh, I don't know.
That's what I was going to say. I set my alarm in the morning at 4 and I know I can't snooze it because I need to get out of bed and I need to go. Whereas if I'm on like a 7, I'll set it for 6 and I'll just keep snoozing it. And that probably doesn't help because I think you just go into like a lull, don't you? Then you get up and you're a bit...
Yeah, you go into a drifty sleep. Yeah.
Whereas if you get up straight away, put your feet on the ground, stand up.
Yeah.
You're off.
And it's like today, Tom and I are off today, really. And we have had a lie-in. And it's the worst thing. And now my day will go so quick. It's already midday. Yeah. And I'm like, half my day's gone. But I haven't achieved masses. And I do feel a bit lethargic, you're right. And by the time I go to bed tonight, I'll feel like my day's gone. Yeah. And I've not really I feel like I've been cheated and had a shorter day. Yeah. Because I still need to go to bed early, probably, because... I've been up early the rest of the week. I don't know. I just don't think it does us any good. Once I get past that 5 o'clock thing, I never feel great when I get up. If I'm up before 5, feel great. But why do we do it? That's what people ask us all the time. Why and how do we do it? I do it because I love my job and I love working with animals. I also respect the people that I work with, and I would find it very difficult if a team of people that work for me so hard dedicated their lives to getting to work for 4:30 every morning and do the job they do. And I didn't, and I lay in bed. I couldn't do that. I just couldn't do that. Yeah. So that drives me to get up, but mostly it's my animals. I do it for the animals. Yeah. And I love it. Yeah.
You do it. Yeah. You do it for them. And you do have to love it. And for people that say, don't know how you do it, well, it's probably not for you then, is it? Do you know what I mean?
It's not for you, but have you tried doing it?
Also that.
I would say that as well. Have you tried it? So sometimes the thought of things and the reality are very, very different.
Very good.
Okay. So that's us. That's just answered a little question we get asked. If anybody have got questions for us, please let us have them. Yeah. However questions. Good or bad. We need questions. It'd be great to give you some answers. As you can tell, I like talking a lot. So please let us have some questions. But for today, that's a wrap, as they say.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks for listening. And hopefully tune in for our next episode. I think next time I'm going to grill Leah. I'm going to shut up a little bit now and I'm going to start grilling Leah next time.
Brilliant.
Chewing the Cud at Halton Farms.
Remember, if you'd like to hear us chewing the cud at Halton Farms, like and subscribe. We're available on all your favourite podcast platforms. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, TuneIn and YouTube.